Okay, hey everybody, welcome back again to my channel. I'm Rob, and we are doing The Punisher, Season 1, Episode 5, Gunner. Sorry for being late on this. I actually watched this episode a few days ago, but forgot to make the video. I rewatched it just now. Another great episode, full spoilers. Also, just to prepare you, there may be some background noise from somebody out in the other room yelling at how the Chicago Bears are losing against the Philadelphia Eagles. So just to prepare you for any weird noises in the background. So anyway, let's just get into it. Sorry again for being late about this video. Some of you have probably already binge watched through the whole thing, and normally I would have too, but I'm trying to stretch it out. So some of you are going to hear things that you probably already know, and about theories that you already know if you've already watched the whole season. So, Gunner. Again, my reaction is it's another great episode. There are some things about it I don't like, but they're kind of things that I don't like about most of the Marvel TV show things. So I'm just going to cover, let's just do this, and we'll get to them as we get to them. So you got my Agent Mandani, messed up and not feeling that great. She's, remembering about how, Frank was the one who pulled her out. I really like Frank and Micro's growing relationship, even though it is very, pissing each other off, saying mean things to each other. It's growing. There's a relationship growing. There's humor here. There's a growing respect slowly between the two of them working together, which I'm sure by the end will really pay off. And we see a lot of that here in this episode, more of Micro and Frank's relationship growing. We get a nice little scene where Frank is talking to Micro's daughter about the book Life of Pi, which is really, really nice bit of writing, bringing in something like that about showing really a lot how Frank's family was. Like the daughter seems pretty similar to Frank's daughter, and the son, Micro's son, is a lot kind of like Frank's son. And the whole inviting him over for dinner, knowing that this family is missing that father figure presence. And it's a nice little scene. There's a good natural talking, the conversation is very natural. I like how Frank's talking about how he broke the car, you gotta fix it, I broke it with my face, that kind of thing. And the son, what are you doing here? Clearly, showing signs of fear of abandonment and not wanting another person in the house, another man, when the dad's out there. All these things are pretty normal for a family that's lost a family member or supposedly lost a family member, that fear of somebody else taking their place kind of situation. So even though the kid is being a little asshole, it's understandable, these kind of things. I really, like the little girl is, really trying, and probably trying, hoping that maybe this guy will be their new daddy, which is just kind of weird. It's got to be weird for Frank, and even weirder for Micro to be watching these situations happening, and Frank knowing, I'm not, no matter how far this goes, I'm not going to be, dating their mother, that kind of thing. So we got that going on. We got more with Mandani and her people talking about, her car and how she can't, her dad gave it to her and it's wrecked now, and so, she can't let that stand. A little cheesy. But I did like the line that the guy was like her boss, or whoever that guy is. I can't remember. He's somebody higher up. If I forget some of these details about who these people are, it's kind of because, like I've said before, I kind of don't give a shit about these police, and that it's one of those things that are in every Marvel show, is the cops or federal agencies that are in the background because they need to build more of a story. We can't just have, Frank gunning people down 24/7. They need these other parts of to create drama. So the guy makes a comment about, before he went all Steve McQueen, which was kind of fitting because the car Mondani drives, it might have been the same car McQueen drove in Bullitt. So that was a nice little reference if that's accurate. But, her talking to her partner, trying to, tell him that I know that Frank Cass is alive, and him, giving her a certain amount of time, but he's not wanting to lie in front of people, and when they're going to be questioned, and of course he does lie, but he gives her like a week, to figure, get something. Again, all this stuff is very familiar to every Marvel show's cop situation. That they're not supposed to be looking into it, and there's going to be consequences, and they're under investigation, and they're put in harm's way, and the thing is, I don't care if they live or die. I don't. Again, it's a very Walter White situation for me, where I just don't care about the background characters that much. As long as Frank gets what he wants, that's my major focus. He could walk into that place and pretty much do a Terminator if they were bad, and I wouldn't care. So the more that they do this plot where I'm supposed to give a crap about the cop, she's not a bad character. I don't care. In the end, she's just somebody to try to, get in the way of Frank doing what he's going to do. It's not her fault. She's doing a fine job as an actress. I like all these actors and everybody in it. I just hate the plot device that they've got to be in here, But that's TV, everybody. Even if it is Netflix, they have the same kind of crap on HBO too. Every show has this basically kind of thing. And of course, because let's get through Mondani's crap, the rest of it. Because of course, later on, after she's ignored Billy Russo's phone call, she does meet up for him with drinks, and she does go home and bone him. But that the sex is partially a way for her to release some tension and anger or whatever about the situation she's in, and also so that she becomes romantically entangled with Billy Russo, so that when he does do that flip that I am still convinced he's going to do, that when he reveals he's a bad guy, she's going to be feeling ultra betrayed. Oh no! Which is another thing that, that's one of my other parts about the episode I didn't like, is that whole rigmarole of she's going to sleep with the enemy that she doesn't know, and, she'll probably do one of those things where she turns her back and lets Frank go. She could have the opportunity to kill him. But then she remembers some crap. So anyway, that's the Mondani stuff. Let's put that away and get to the rest of the story. I mean, there is the part where she brings in Karen, and I like Karen a lot. She is a side character I do give a shit about because we've spent a lot of time with her. Daredevil season 1, Daredevil season 2, her relationship that they've built with Frank, so that there is a level of I give a shitness. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to develop, I don't think, Mondani or anybody else around them as well as they have with Karen. And, Karen's real, heartbreak and feelings for Frank that go like, knowing how bad his life is and wishing she could change it, and knowing she can't, but still like trying to help him. Writing that line of help and not getting involved with the pretty brutal things that he can do. And there's really not much about her parts in here except for not giving anything to Mondani. Mondani knows that she knows kind of thing. Maybe some sort of leverage in the future episode. I don't know if that's what that is. And then Karen talking to Frank on the riverfront, saying, she can't, Mondani came to me, and Frank explaining, and her talking about Frank's ultimate end, like lonely, we're all fighting loneliness and all this stuff. which is fine. It's good. But we get to the whole, meat of this episode. There's a couple of things. Rollins, the guy who was running their little units out there, is now, he's at the CIA, training people, and he's got his messed up eye, and it's like, geez, this guy is just still, what's his name, Paul Schultz, I think, or John Schultz, something like that. He's come a long way since he was a priest on The Sopranos, and the guy from Nurse Jackie who used to give her pills. This guy's an alright actor, but it's because I didn't like him on either of those shows as a character, not as an actor. It's very easy for me to just be like, yeah, I hope this guy goes down hard. Which comes to one of the more surprising moments of the episode, which is, holy crap, Maid Marian's in this show. And if that's not dated enough for you, holy crap, the lady from The Abyss is in this movie. Yes, that's right. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is in this. That came out of nowhere for me. She's a great actress. I've most of those movies. I mean, well, Robin Hood's, it is what it is. But I didn't dislike her in that movie, and I really like The Abyss. So it was weird. Another Sigourney Weaver type older actress in the Netflix shows, giving it a little bit of class, I guess. Although she is there right now to just hand over power to Rollins, which is scary. Also, that Rollins is pretty much got the whole place on, surveillance. So when Mandani and them are talking about Frank and all the other members of that unit, he's just there to, oh, well, I got that information, which sets up what happens later. So Rollins is a real piece of work. We've also got now, she gives him power because she doesn't want to, she needs somebody to do the things, this Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio character, James or something like that. She gives the evil guy power, not knowing how bad he is. And then we get to the part where Frank and Micro have to go find Gunner, because he was the one who took the video of Frank killing the guy that got this whole thing rolling. And they talk about how this guy's off the grid. But the thing is, one of the weird things is that he's like, well, the only thing he has is his property and the cabin on it. So obviously this guy's living there. If you really want to be away from the government, be off the grid, don't be in the one place that they would find you, which is on the property that your family owns, where there's a cabin in the woods. You're not really that off the grid. If you really want to be off the grid, make that look like the place you're at, so that if anybody ever came, you booby trap it, you blow the fucking cabin up, and then you take out anybody that was there, and you could have early warning systems that would trigger to where you really are, saying that there's somebody on the property. But that's not where we go here. The guy's there, they go look for him. There's a great scene with Frank and Micro in the car, with the food. That was really funny. I'm not going to tell you what happens, because if you haven't seen the episode, telling somebody the joke is kind of ruining it. But it's a great dynamic and showing more about how Frank and Micro's relationship is growing. And once we get there, it does kind of, it's great, because, Frank tells Micro, this isn't the time for you to get your hands dirty. If this guy wants to, he can kill us. They did fool me where I thought maybe the guy had already known they were there and was going to ambush Micro, but that didn't happen. He did start shooting Frank with arrows before Frank can finally calm him down. And, once they realize, like, look, I just want Agent Orange, who I suspect is probably Billy Russo. The guy who got out. I'm pretty sure it's Billy Russo working with Rollins at this point. I don't think it's too much of a stretch of the imagination, but anyway, they start talking for a minute, but already the helicopters are coming and the guys are on the ground after them, and this is where it gets really, it gets our action piece of the week or the day or the episode or however you want to put it. And I really like the helmet cams, and I do like the guy does know his property, and the violence here is really great. The way Rollins is looking at things through their helmet cams, and how Micro is also he's got a little drone and he's monitoring what's happening, and I love that dynamic because while Micro is using the surveillance to help Frank, Rollins is just there watching. It shows how little he cares about his soldiers as they each get taken down one at a time, where he's just monitoring and Micro is actively helping. This guy could be helping. He could probably have, but I think men aren't important to him. They are just fodder to go sent out and die or succeed. If you succeed, great. If you die, it's your fault. I couldn't help you. And it was the action piece here is really great. The booby traps hitting people, the look on Rollins' face when he realizes Frank Castle is still alive. In the end, they do what they got to do, and they take out the dudes that they need to. Frank coming out of the leaves was a great touch. One part about this I don't get is that if this guy really knew his property that well, I find it weird that, in Kandahar and stuff, they were able to take out all these dudes all the time, especially Frank. And here they just kind of, story needed them to have what happens happen, where Gunner eventually gets hurt on his own. I just feel like these guys that were sent there wouldn't be a match for Frank or Gunner. They wouldn't, especially they do take them all out, but with the Gunner basically being fatally wounded and killed, you kind of have to realize that's probably what happens by the end of the episode. He leaves him, when Micro finds him, But anyway, it's really great, Frank threatening whoever it is, I'm coming after you. Micro does find Frank, who is pretty badly hurt, but he's got all the things he needs. He's got the IV, he's got everything working out. Frank telling him, there's hope for you yet. There might be hope for you yet, Spook. We get the whole thing with the family that he was supposed to be at dinner, and he's let them down. So now there's that aspect of another person that they let into their lives is letting them down. But really, they just met this guy. Is it too weird that he might not show up for their dinner? Not really. I think you're supposed to feel a lot more like, oh no, than you really should. And I should talk more about the violence was really great. Just when Frank really sticks it in that dude after it's already just fucked him up. And again, he sticks. I love how Micro was coordinating the attack, telling him, these guys hit your blankety blank, and in 10 seconds you're going to have a crossfire here, and really helping. So it really shows where this is going. Really shows how Micro is going to be Frank's partner, how well, once they get it all down, how much more damage Frank will be able to do by the end of this season. So, that's about it. There is that one thing, I liked how Gunner told that story about them finding this kid that he knew, and once he was dead, they saw him shoving his body full of drugs and stuff. It was effective. But yeah, that's about it. Again, really good episode. Can't wait to watch episode 6, which I'm going to do right after this so I can get that video up. I don't know how many more videos I'm going to make today. I'm trying to crank out the end of this, but I've still got, this is only episode 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I got 8 more episodes. Holy shit. So anyway, I better start uploading this video as soon as I can, start watching the next one so I can get that video out to you. So if you did like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe. It's free. You just hit a button. Comments. What do you think of this show so far? Where do you think it's going? No spoilers further than this episode because I haven't seen it. Otherwise, We will see you on the next video. Tonight is Walking Dead. Wednesday is Mr. Robot. Check out my new thing that I'm doing called Waited for Blu-ray. I've done The Hitman's Bodyguard and Good Time. And yeah, that's about it for now. We'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.